Okay, Lucas, I'm not getting your audio. Can you hear me?
Hey, good morning, Sam. Thanks so much for taking time to speak with me. So, this is a group of Stop the Votes. Oh, can you hear me now, Sam?
Yes,
Hello, Sam?
yes, yes. Okay, we lost his signal. Hopefully, he'll be back in a second. But Lucas is he's in Tucson, Arizona, in Phoenix, Arizona. And some of the video that he already supplied this morning was very disturbing. It's a Stop the Vote rally. And oh, hi, Lucas, you're back. Can you hear me?
Yeah, Sam. Can you hear me?
Yeah, great. Tell us what's going on.
Yeah, so I'm here on the ground out in front of City Hall. There's been a lot of push here in Arizona to stop the votes and stop the counting. There's been a lot of concern about what the ballots are being counted, why the ones are being turned in late, and so this is a large group of people here out in front of the City Hall here in Phoenix, Arizona, that are basically just coming out to make their presence known and to stop what they see as a theft of an election. This has been one of the first times this state has gone blue in the past few years, and I think there's a large part of this population here that's not ready to accept that is, the political direction, or at least the current political direction of the state. So, even late like last night after midnight, we were out in front of the recorder's office, and they were very active in, basically being direct and forward with media there. There was media that was posting on Twitter about feeling threatened and about feeling just maybe endangered by some of the folks there that were armed, and some of the folks there that were being part of just everything was going on. But here, I think we got here about 9 a.m. and it's been about an hour of folks speaking and talking, organizing, just kind of sharing their views on the president and the current political situation. So.
Lucas, can you hear me? I think there's a little bit of a delay, but what I want to ask you is who's there? What's the breakdown, the demographic? This morning I saw a video that you shot, and it had a man who looked like he was in his 30s. He looked like he was Latino. So brown people there as part of this, which I don't really understand. But what's the breakdown? Who's there?
I mean, it's definitely there is Arizona being a more diverse place. We are seeing the full spectrum of people here, and lots of people of color and things like that. And they themselves are feeling that the Democratic Party has not really aligned with their values and has maybe taken them for granted over the years. And now this is their reaction of supporting the GOP and supporting Trump and things. Even though it might not technically align with all the things and the issues their communities are dealing with, it's also just been a way for them to align and help themselves more politically. So.
Right, Lucas, what I'm guessing just by looking at it is that it's not that big, but I'm guessing it's an unpermitted action, and these people just showed up there with their flags and their support of Donald Trump's administration. Is there anything that is making you think it's anything other than that? Is this going to jump off and turn into like a conflict? Arizona's open carry, right? Do people have guns, or are they just
Oh
protesting?
yeah,
What do you think?
there's definitely lots of guns here. I've definitely probably seen at least 5 or 6 people that are open carrying here, and just it's saying the state that they want to be secure, they want to feel secure themselves. So I mean, a little bit ago we had a protester that was coming up, a counter protester that was yelling and talking about just what was going on, and there was 1 versus 30 of people screaming match and getting very adamant about what was going on. So I mean, there is a possibility of things, devolving rather quickly if there were counter protesters. But right now, there are not a lot. And when we did see counter protesters earlier, there's these. I don't know if you can see them right here in the stream, but there's these chaperones right here of the Phoenix Police Department that are more of the plainclothes sort of folks, but are also here just to keep the peace. And they're here, keeping folks separated. But like I said, there was only 1 protester here, and probably about 80 to 120, supporters of President Trump and people here active. So.
One thing I've been wondering, because I've seen a couple of these around the country, but and I'm gathering you talk to some of these people, like, do these people think that this is going to have an impact on the election process? Are they just like venting, or do they actually think that it's, yeah, are they venting? Is this actually a real movement where these people think they're going to impact the election?
Yeah, I mean, I think definitely a lot of people are just concerned about the overall process to begin with. There's the concerns that have been echoed since the 2016 election, which is people voting that aren't citizens of this country, people that are voting multiple times, uh, ballots that are not being cast, no, I'm sorry, ballots that have been intercepted and things like that. So I mean, there's a lot of people here that are concerned that there's a massive amount of ballots that have been dumped into the system that are being counted mostly for metropolitan areas. So when you consider the massive flux of these ballots, they're mostly leaning. A lot of them are leaning more Democrat and things. So people here are concerned that these ballots are showing up and it's unfair the actual votes on them and stuff. So people are concerned that there might be some sort of fraud going on.
I've been watching a lot of the coverage, and I've been watching the assertion of this narrative that you're talking about, that the election's rigged or that in some way the process is compromised. And of all the things that are compromised in this country, this is actually pretty trackable and traceable. And so it just seems a little bit absurd to me, but that's just my perspective. Is there anybody there you can talk to?
Yeah, let me see if there's something good. Cool. So yeah, I grabbed us somebody here, Sam. You want to go ahead and introduce yourself and maybe just say why we're out here today?
Hi, my name is Alexis, and I'm a healthcare worker in Maricopa County. And I'm just working right now, but I specialize in geriatric care. And not only is this corruption of the election false, but also is how that the virus is.
Can you talk a little louder?
County is not anything that matches on the mainstream media. People are fine. We're treating it like the flu. We send them home. We don't send them to the hospital. Geriatrics are thriving right now. Everybody's thriving. Everybody's doing great. And Maricopa County in Arizona love our freedom, and we love Donald Trump, like President Trump. We are here for it. And, it doesn't matter Democrat or Republican. I think we want to keep our rights and our freedom, and we believe in the Constitution, and that's why America's so great. God bless America.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
We have to keep it. We have to keep America great. We have to.
Keep America great.
Guy right here, Sam. Just ask you a quick question. Go ahead, Sam.
Can I ask you a question? So you said we here in Maricopa County, we support Donald Trump. And some of you
Sorry,
do.
Sam. It's a little louder.
Okay.
Okay, Sam, you can go ahead and ask the question again really quick.
My question was that she said, is she still there?
Yeah, she's right here.
Hi. You said we support here in Maricopa County, we support Donald Trump, right? But in Maricopa County, everybody doesn't support Donald Trump. So do you acknowledge that other people also have the right?
He's asking about the support levels in Maricopa County, knowing it's gone really blue and stuff, and there's a lot of people out here supporting. How does that reflect upon you? How you see the political climate right now here?
As far as what?
Maricopa went more blue than they did in the 2016 election and things. And how does that reflect how you see the current state of politics?
Listen, I can tell you this much. I'm a mobile nurse, so I go from Casa Grande to Surprise to Fountain Hills and Apache Junction out to Peoria, and as far as Goodyear, every single day. I'm actually supposed to be in Gilbert right now, and everywhere I drive, everywhere I see is support for Donald Trump. I see it on homes, cars, out in the front yard, companies, construction sites. It didn't match what I see every single day. I do 180 miles every day from 9 to 5, and when I saw it outside and then when they called it early, I was like, there's no way. I travel Maricopa County 5 days a week. It doesn't match what I see, and more importantly, my patients that are stuck in assisted living homes have Trump shirts, Trump hats. They're half of them didn't even get their mail-in ballots. Okay, they didn't even nobody advocated for them here with the option to vote. Arizona has 80% geriatrics. This is a retired group, and they are the general population, and they didn't even get to vote. Nobody advocated for these people who were quarantined all summer. Nobody dropped off their ballots. None of my patients got ballots. None of my 80-year-old, 90-year-old, 100-year-old patients got ballots. Okay, and they've been quarantined away from their families all summer long. They're frightened. They have their children out here who are just trying to do what's best for them, and they didn't even get an option. They're pent up. They get a choice too, and they are primarily the population of Arizona. People come here to
Right. Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, go ahead, Sam.
I got it. Is what she's saying that she thinks the election is illegitimate and that there's corruption in the electoral process?
When they called it early, you know, I have definitely become more conservative throughout this election. And when they called it early at 9:15, and I was watching that, and from my perspective and what I see day to day, I was like, there is no way. There is no way. Sure, maybe a couple of 100,000 for Biden, but in the millions, absolutely not. And with that margin, with that small of a margin, absolutely not. Absolutely not. It is definitely corruption.
Right. So
it's scary for our country.
So
it's very scary.
Right. So beyond that, she's seen a lot of Trump signs in her visual experience with what she's taking in. Does she have any evidence of that, or is it just that she's seen a lot of signs? Because it sounds like there's just her feeling or sense and what she's seen, and I'm not really understanding how that would equal, corruption or an illegitimate. Oh, Lucas is gone for a second. So he's probably going to pop back in. I'm guessing there's a lot of people live streaming where he is. And, here he's back. So, hi, you're back. Did you get that question?
I'm curious and I inquire.
What's the evidence?
On when I walk in the room, they'll have their shirts on. They'll have an I voted sticker. And so I'm kind of like, so I just inquire, and while I'm doing their exam, I just have conversation with them, and it's just a general consensus. I also
what would you like? What needs to happen right now with this election?
I think that my personal theory, as I'm watching it unfold, is that it probably would have been easier to make it seem like the swing states, like i.e. Arizona, have went blue without looking so peculiar, right? Without looking so suspicious. So they capitalized on these swing states, right? Pennsylvania, Nevada, to make it seem like, okay, it's not so far-fetched that it went blue. I mean, a whole other can of worms. I also grew up in New Mexico. We're farmers and dairy workers. Everybody in New Mexico loves that whole state is red. That's a whole other thing that's been going on for years. That state is blue is also complete and utter garbage. Okay, that is small town America. Farmers and dairy owners live in
not true
in New Mexico. It's
not true.
It is true.
Not true.
It is true. It is true. I
Everybody.
grew up in Roswell, New Mexico.
Okay. Let me just tell you what I'm responding to. You said everyone in Mexico.
No, she's New Mexico.
I'm sorry, New Mexico. You said everyone in New Mexico. Yeah. My mistake. Everyone in New Mexico is red, and that's actually not true. Everyone in that state did not vote for Donald Trump. Everyone does not support Republican politics. Some people do, some people don't. It's predominantly, but it's not everybody there. It's not everyone in Arizona. So I can test that. That's inaccurate.
The general population, the working class Americans, definitely voted for Donald Trump. I can guarantee that the only city probably in New Mexico that didn't vote for Donald Trump, and that's where the electoral votes obviously came from, is Santa Fe, New Mexico, where it's a liberal town, obviously.
What about Albuquerque as well? Do you think that went more?
Albuquerque is. Have you been to Albuquerque? Albuquerque it's so sad. It's going down. It's going downhill. Albuquerque. It's sad. It's becoming
okay. Great.
Again, liberals over, and they want everything free. They don't want to pay their taxes. They want to throw tents on the street.
Who are you talking about? I know people that live there. This is a massive, broad generalization. Come on, this is crazy. So she was great. Thanks. Come on.
I'm not sure.
No.
It was good. I'm gonna find you 1 second. I'm gonna wander on. One of them. Thank you so much for that. Hey, so yeah, that was one of the people here who's talking. She's a nurse. Sorry, I'll wait till this ambulance goes by, or a fire truck.
Go ahead.
Anyway, yeah, I'm back. So yeah, that's kind of matches a lot of the attitudes we're seeing here. People are really concerned about, not just the election, but coronavirus and just what they think is the overall dynamic of truth here right now. So it's been an evolution to see, how people are figuring things out without, tuning into mainstream media sources and things like that. So
Yeah, what I was really curious about is that when she was talking, a lot of what she was talking about was just kind of big, broad, general assumptions with nothing to back it up. I wonder if there's any evidence that there's like voter fraud or corruption with people who are running the election, because that's what I'm not seeing. Let's look at these people.
I mean, we've already had a little bit of this discussion about specifically the Sharpie ballots and things like that. Whether people were given pins or whether they were given Sharpies to fill out, and there was a concern they might bleed through. But we've already had Katie Hobbs, the Secretary of State here in Arizona, just say that it's not going to be an issue if the machines are having issues counting things because there's bleed through, then those are going to be hand counted. So we're not really looking at a lot of the issues that people are seeing in other states as far as things already, ballots being turned away, or, like the U.S. Post Office has lost, I think it's over 300,000 ballots and things right now that have not had delivery scans. So we're just, we're looking at some issues here, but these people are mainly just really concerned about the fact that their state has shifted so quickly from red to blue, and, basically skipping the purple when you consider, this is a state we legalized cannabis. The Senator Mark Kelly was elected against McSally, and also, it went pretty definitely for Trump, and not just in the metro areas, but in counties and stuff that normally don't have that large vote for the Democrats. So it's definitely been an evolution.
Right. And Lucas, you live in Arizona. Is this
Yeah.
is this what usually happens? Is this what their protests are like? Because I mean, if I saw somebody with a gun in Los Angeles at a protest, I would leave immediately. I mean, besides the police. Is there anything anomalistic or different about this? I mean, this woman is speaking in big, general, broad terms and saying things that, are basically you can't confirm it all necessarily, and some of them just blatantly not true. Is this the Trump scene in Arizona? Is this what the usual fare?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I've been coming out to events like this ever since SB 1070 years ago, and I've really got a feel for how the community reacts and what type of structure they take when they come out, and it's definitely been heavily armed. It's definitely been a place where you'll see. I mean, even at the county recorder's office last night, up until after midnight, you had people with high caliber rifles and pistols and things, and there was even crews of people from.
That is a total lie.
Oh, we have someone else to interview and talk with here. Hi.
Hi, do I look like an extremist?
No.
Hi.
So yeah, would you like to tell us what's going on here and what we're seeing here? I mean, there are some people armed, and that's clear because they're walking around with guns. And last night they're walking around with rifles. So what part of that what wasn't truthful?
You said there's lots of people who are heavily armed.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see a lot of heavily armed people, and the people who
I was talking about last night. There's just pistols here, but last night they had AR-15s.
Yes, this is Arizona. You have a right to carry here, and people who carry, who are responsible carriers, they don't take their guns out for anything, and they won't be today here because this is a peaceful protest and we don't riot. We're not here to riot. We won't ever be anywhere to riot because that's not what's going on. We are just here because we know that there's been blatant fraud going on with the votes and with the election, and we want integrity with the election and with the votes. That's it.
I was just wondering, how would you compare people having a peaceful demonstration here to people having a peaceful demonstration elsewhere, say in support of Black Lives Matter, and being armed? Do you see a difference? Is there one that feels more threatening to your community? Because there was an article that came out recently that said only 4% of all the Black Lives Matter protests this year have resulted in any violence. So, I mean, like, if you think of 96% of instances of them just being peaceful and calm, would you be okay with them also being armed?
Yes, absolutely. But I'm my own person, and everybody is their own. Which I have also seen on somebody videotaping in Richmond at some point. And a few months ago, a Republican woman running for a seat who was at a Second Amendment rights march, who has been interviewing a Black Lives Matter like a group who were there also to protect their Second Amendment rights. And that is what I promote. I promote the Second Amendment, and I promote everyone who wants to promote the Second Amendment, be it BLM or whoever. We're all patriots. This is America.
Why?
I'm
Why?
an individual.
Why? Can I ask you a question? Can I ask a
Yeah,
question?
Okay.
Why?
Go ahead, Sam.
Why?
Why?
Why is the
Why
First Amendment
bring a
so
gun
important to
to
you?
a protest?
Oh, it's part of the Constitution. I'm definitely here to defend. I'm always going to be defending the Constitution. I believe in the Constitution. I believe in the freedom that we should keep in America. And I feel like it's definitely at stake, and that's my personal belief from all my research, from all the years I've been studying, doing my own thing, studying all of this and the patterns and what's going on in America and what has been going on far before Trump became president. So
Yeah. Can I ask a question?
Second Amendment, like in '96, in Australia, everybody had to give their guns away, right? Everyone had to give their guns away, the buyback program, and all the guns went away, right? So you go look at Australia. You go look at that tyranny going on right there in Australia right now. The lockdowns, it is so extreme. It is so extreme there. You cannot ignore the fact that everything connects right now. Everything connects, okay? And it's done slowly.
Okay, great.
So
Can I ask a question?
It's been going on.
Can I ask
Yes.
a question? Lucas, why bring a gun? Why bring a gun to a protest? Why bring a gun to a protest? Why?
People
Why?
Okay.
Sam, hold on.
Okay, so people who carry, who conceal or don't conceal, and it's a right here in Arizona. They could carry all the time. They could be people who carry to the grocery store, who carry to anywhere. There's people who carry in other states everywhere. Biden people, Trump people.
Are people more concerned, like communities
Why
feel like they need
bring a gun
safety?
to a protest?
Okay, so 2 weeks ago, I watched I don't know where, in the deep south somewhere, Alabama or whatever, where everybody carries. Okay, I saw a Biden. Is she looking or what?
Sorry, it's a little bit hard. Sam,
Okay, so I'm telling you a story. So that has to do with your question. So
Yeah, you're telling a story.
It was like a Biden-Trump rally thing. It was going on a street where the Biden people were on one side and the Trump people were on the other side, and they were like having their own like protests or whatever the heck they were doing, rally, and they were across the street from each other. There was a little bit of like this one guy got really mad. I don't know what side he was on, and I don't care. And he was like trying to fight the other side with fists, right? And then these two men, one was a Biden man, an older man, and one was a Trump guy, an older man, and they both had their pistols in their pockets because you get to carry in states, you get to carry that. And all they did was come up and break up the fight. They didn't take their guns out because if you understand.
Yeah. So why bring a gun to a protest? I'm really not understanding.
Don't ever take the gun out. But you do have a right in America to defend yourself. If someone.
I'm aware of all that. We all know that. Why bring a gun to a
You have
protest?
the right to defend yourself.
Yeah, but
What?
again,
Any other way?
so
like the guy
why?
The guy in Denver. The guy in Denver. I want to say this. The guy in Denver who went and shot that guy. The guy in Denver who went and shot that guy in the face. and we saw sort of like what was happening. They were having a very heated argument, and the guy who got shot in the face had mace. I don't know if he had a gun. But he had mace. And all of a sudden, it wasn't even the guy he was arguing with. This other guy comes up at a note, like from somewhere, with a gun, and this guy, they're having like a little like heated thing, and then the guy takes up his mace and starts to like spray toward the guy with the gun, and then the guy with the gun shoots him in the face and kills him. Okay, I don't own a gun. I don't want to own a gun, but I took a conceal class because I wanted to learn more about the safety of gun, like people's gun rights and safety. You never take out your gun when there's not lethal force. If someone's punching you, if someone's putting mace up to you, you're not taking your gun out, okay? And that's what that guy did, and he wasn't. I don't know. I know.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but I just wanted you to answer the question, but I'm not really understanding it. The question was, why bring a gun to a protest? And you're telling a lot of stories. I don't know if they're true or whatever, but why bring a gun to a protest? Why bring a gun to a protest? The simple question.
I think the question is that we didn't really get to is just in general. There's a lot of uncertainty and fear coming to these protests on both sides. That's why you see black folks in Seattle and Portland and everything open carrying. That's why you see white folks here in Arizona carrying. I think there's a lot of distrust and the divisiveness that we really see in our communities is coming out full circle when people feel they need to be armed and they feel they need to have weapons on them to come out in public spaces. So I think overall it's just it's that unspoken thing of I'm afraid of my fellow citizens right now because of the state of our politics. And so I think that's kind
it seems
of
like more like
to touching on, but that's what I'm seeing on a lot of the sides.
It seems like intimidation to me.
Sorry, you say again?
You said there was Lucas. You said there was a couple other people there, maybe who showed up who were not mounting a counter protest, but they were there. Are they still there?
Perfect timing. Yeah, he's over here right now.
Can we talk to him? See if he wants to talk.
We'll
Does
see.
he have a gun?
Police are kind of protecting him. No, he does not have a gun.
Okay, just the camera.
Look the other way! Yeah, you're traitor is! You're a traitor! Oh, I got Mosberg! I can't oh, I got Lucas back! I'm a draft dodger! Draft dodger! Yeah, right, but you know what you heard. I love you, so get away from me! Get away from me! I will not take you like your traitor wants! Your traitor wants hate! I'll let you, brother! Go back and break your Kool-Aid!
If you're just watching, Lucas is in Phoenix, Arizona. There's a Stop the Vote rally and one counter protester, and I think
just to give you a heads up, Sam, my phone's getting pretty low and pretty hot over here, so if I do cut off, we'll plan to do another stream later on. I just want to give you a heads up.
Okay, great. Thanks for being there in the mix in Phoenix. Thanks for bringing this to us and showing us what's going on there. Oh my.
China! Russia! I want to. About China!
Oh boy, don't start with McCain.
He gets paid for being so hateful.
just get to have a public forum. Sorry, you will not be letting us off the road in Arizona anymore. Jesus loves a little children. All the children of the world. Little black and white. Jesus loves a little children. You don't have one out there, Jesus. Your man is not a God. You are worshiping a false God.
Sorry if it's getting a little squirrely, guys. My phone is 100,000 degrees right now. Got full service, but a black phone is not doing good in this 90-degree temperature. Yeah, it's definitely off.
You ensure your right to vote as anybody else. Your traitor in the White House impugned our reputation of the beloved. Sir, but I still disagree with you as a veteran. Please don't support a man who calls veterans and soldiers losers, who pays the Taliban as our soldiers are in the field in Afghanistan. Stop hating each other. John McCain was right. We are not a nation of tribes. We are the United States, just as Joe Biden said.
If you're just tapping in, this is Lucas Mulliken reporting from Phoenix, Arizona at City Hall, where there's a Stop the Vote rally. That's right. Stop.
Yeah, hey Sam. We've been out here most of the morning so far. This is part of the Stop the Vote group here. They're looking to keep additional ballots from being filed in. They're a group of concerned citizens here in Arizona. I would say full in support of Trump here. Really feeling that the shift of the paradigm of politics from red to blue in the state is not aligned with their goals and not aligned with what they're seeing is going on. So we're about a half mile away from Maricopa County recorder's office. And last night, that's where we had people, even after midnight there with, very defensively taking up the parking lot and demanding access. People see the ballots being counted and things like that. So, and now we're out here with, there's one counter protester here with probably about 45 pro-Trump supporters, and they've been having some arguments and disagreements the whole time. And yeah, I'm just hanging with the group and seeing where we're going from here.
Under the Supreme Court justice shut down our grandparents. The Supreme Court legitimacy will be built. This is how you kill somebody. Abraham Lincoln died there because of the Supreme Court decision. It was called Dred Scott.
Okay, looks like Lucas is jamming up a little bit. He's in Phoenix near City Hall, and there's a Stop the Vote protest. Just reading one of my comments here. It says, "Nothing says democracy like not counting ballots." That's from Logic Trauma.
Exactly. Well, Sam, I'm gonna charge my phone for a little bit. Thanks for tuning in with me and having this conversation. We'll probably jump back on later on. We'll probably be out in front of the Maricopa County Recorder's office. So I'll reach out to you then, and we'll spend some more time talking.
Great. Thanks, Lucas. Be safe. Have fun.